Don't ever take away my freedom. Part 6.
Hi. I'm back with another Freedom Minutes, and I've written this one down, in outline form, because I didn't want it to take too long. I don't want to bore you, okay? But I think it's important. This is about the difficult issue of immigration. The Constitution starts with "we the people," right? Now, the problem back then was that we the people, they didn't apply it to everybody. They didn't apply it to the slaves. They didn't apply it to Native Americans, and they didn't even apply it to women, their wives. Great Constitution, but they didn't. They had problems. They had deficiencies, if you will. And I think we have to honestly talk about that. So when we talk about immigration, Section 9 of the Constitution begins with the migration or importation of such persons as any of the states now existing shall think proper to admit, ... Very, very clear that immigration at that time was thought to be a state's issue, and that the states had great authority on that. Now, later on, it was addressed again after the Civil War. I mean, in 1868, we had the 14th Amendment, the abolishment of slavery, and in Section 1, it states, all persons born or naturalized in the United States are citizens. Now, the key word is naturalized, which generally means the process of a foreign-born person becoming a citizen. Now, Congress has grown significant powers regarding immigration. Federal and state should be harmonized. We're talking about an amendment, that was 1868. The world and the country was different then. There was a lot more space. People that were already living in the country could easily become naturalized and accepted. Okay? Things are different, and we have to understand that. But there has been no more amendments on this issue. It's been a matter of courts or in the executive branch of the government, maybe too much power. Okay? And so we have to come up with something that harmonizes things and makes sense of this. Well, I'm not familiar with all the court history and all that. I don't really care, but I've come up with a 7 points, which I think makes sense. And not Republican, Democrat. I don't want any of that stuff. Does it make sense? Will it work? Does it fit our ideals? Number 1, require an orderly application process for entering the country. In most cases, citizens of one country or another, if I want to travel to another country, I've got to have a passport and maybe a visa. There's got to be some identification for me to get into a country. That just makes sense. Same thing for foreign citizens coming here. That's practical. It makes sense. 2, applicants should be vetted for criminal record or intent. I know this is difficult, but a convicted criminal in most countries will and should have a hard time obtaining a passport or a visa. 3, limiting numbers of immigrants over a defined time frames would seem prudent. Practicality, order, and concern for all-around safety means a limited number can be effectively processed in a given period of time. My goodness, our traffic laws embody that. You can only have so many cars on the road at the same time, or else you have either a jam or you have wrecks. Okay? Order. There's got to be an orderly process. And it can't just be, y'all come drive any lane you want to drive in. Any speed you want to have. I mean, come on, folks. Makes sense. Okay, 3, excuse me. 4. Once granted, they must also apply for a state of domicile, move there, and apply for that state's driver license or minimum ID. Now, this goes back to the Constitution, which definitely placed a lot of authority in the states. It would also make sense, in an orderly fashion, for somebody to sign up and say, you know what, I'd like to emigrate to this state. Okay. All right, 5. First come, first serve. Again, orderly. Fairness. These aren't hard things to understand. 6. 2 types of applicants and processes would be allowed. Citizenship or a work visa. Somebody wants to be here to do work. That's been going on for a long time. But again, it's legitimate. It has order. It makes sense. Okay. Now 7, this is the last one. Entering without going through these processes would be illegal, not undocumented. I'm sorry. That illegal. It's against the law, okay, by definition. Without going through these processes, it would be illegal and subject to immediate deportation and or other penalties if any other laws are broken. This doesn't make sense to people? I don't care whether you're a Republican, a Democrat, or a Druid. That should make sense. And then the key is how we so often take our own freedoms for granted and our responsibilities. So how do we offer with peace, with honor, with concern, care, even love, a pathway to citizenship that makes sense? That's what we want to do. That's what we should do. And we shouldn't be penalizing existing citizens. And we don't also want to penalize those that are wanting to be citizens. Compassion for all people, regardless of political affiliation. I'm so tired of the politics. As my wife says, the urban definition of politics is many blood-sucking creatures. Politics. Yeah, I get it. Okay. So anyway, in any society, we have to have laws, right? Otherwise you have anarchy. And you have to have order. So anyway, to end it, I'll plug my book again. Don't ever take away my freedom, under Thomas Patrick Locke. I'm so honored because it recently won the International Impact Book Awards. It's a winner. Yeah, so I hope you'll get it. I think it'll help maybe some discussions in family or whatever. Again, it's very nonpartisan. It just deals with the facts of the Constitution and where we are today. So God bless you. Thank you very much for watching.